All right, it's college football playoff prediction time. I've gone through and I've done all of my uh, previews. Now here's the four teams that I think are going to go to the college football playoff. Number one and number two, I think, are pretty easy. Clemson and Alabama. Which one is one? Which one is two? It'll be curious to see if Alabama goes undefeated in the regular season. I think they'll probably be the number one team just because they'll have better wins than Clemson. It's nothing against Clemson, but Alabama does play a tougher schedule than them. I think Clemson. I think the ACC is good, is getting better, but I think they take a step back from last year. So Clemson's not going to have as good of wins as Alabama. So maybe Alabama gets the one seed, Clemson the two. For the sake of this, I gave Clemson the number one seed because they were the defending national champions. I think they'll look better on paper, or at least visually, the eyeball test. Maybe not, but I put them number one. Number three, the three seed, I'm going to give that to the Oregon Ducks from the Pac-12. They've been kind of shut out of the playoffs for most of the inception of it, since the inception of it. But I think they've got a strong enough team to run through the Pac-12. I think they're going to beat Auburn to start the season off. So I think they're going to be able to get into the college football playoff as that third seed. I don't know if they'll be able to beat Alabama or Clemson, but I think they'll be able to get in there pretty safely. So it leaves that fourth spot, that final spot, and I think it comes down to basically three teams. It comes down to Oklahoma, who I predicted to win the Big 12 championship. It comes down to whoever wins the Big 10, whether it's Michigan or Ohio State. Those are the two teams that I'm thinking are going to win the Big 10. And then I think it also comes down to Georgia. I don't think Notre Dame is back. They've got a lot of talent. They're not as good as last year, so I think they don't go undefeated. So I think it's down to Georgia, Oklahoma, and I mentioned the Big Ten, but I think those teams are going to beat up on each other. So I think the Big Ten champions probably going to have two losses. So I think that kind of drops them out. I think Georgia is going to have one loss. That's going to be in the SEC championship game. Oklahoma is either going to be undefeated or have one loss. Maybe they lose to Texas in the regular season, and like they did last year, and then beat them in the conference championship game. As much as I hate to say this, no offense, SEC fans, but I think Georgia gets in. Just because, like I said, Big 10 and Big 12, they've got good teams, but they've also got those good teams with them, so they're going to kind of beat up on each other. Whereas Georgia, the SEC East is down. I think they get enough wins from the crossover games. They play Alabama tough, and like a couple years ago, they get in because of that. I still think we see a Clemson Alabama national championship game yet again. I know it's kind of people maybe getting tired of that, although they've had some very exciting games, but I definitely think we'd see that again. At this point, I think Alabama catches them, and Alabama's your 2019-2020 national championship team.